Alright, what is up folks? So I'm coming back to the topic of these female online streamers, whether if you're watching these girls on Twitch or if you're living in China. If you're turning on your laptop at 7 p.m. every single night and if you're jerking off to these Chinese female streamers, listen, all of that is fake. You have to be extremely careful. So listen, whatever these girls are saying, right, they're saying that, oh, I'm making $1 million a year or $2 million a year. 90% of them are lying. Yes, there's a small percentage of these women who are extremely successful. They're making insane amount of money. I know this because almost every single female member of my family has tried this at some point. Yeah, the vast majority of them, they actually end up making nothing. So I have a cousin who's been quite successful, and she got a contract and she was sent to one of those influencer factories. So I'll tell you guys basically how the process works, what a typical working day looks like for them, right? So let's say most of these women, right, they're probably streaming, I would say not every single night, maybe 6 nights a week. They get maybe 3, 4, 5 days off per month. However, right, the working day is very short. Typically, let's say what happens is, what's a really good prime time for these women to start streaming, right? They might start at 7 p.m. and the live stream might go on for about 4 hours. Let's say from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m., right? Let's say about 6 nights a week. So that's only about 24 hours a week. Sounds like a pretty easy work, right? Well, you're considering the fact that, how much money these women are making. But here's the thing, right? I would say just seeing, what my sister and some of my cousins did, right? On average, they have to spend about 4 hours. Yes, 4 hours in order to put on makeup. That is an absolute insanity. Like, ladies, what the hell are you putting on your face, right? Go actually, read the label, right? Read the ingredients on these makeups, right? What is it actually you're putting on your face, right? These words are like 25 or 30 letters long. You have no idea what the hell you're doing to your face, right? These companies that makes these makeups, they're capitalizing on a woman's insecurities to the absolute maximum. Listen, if a woman has to spend 4 hours putting on makeup, imagine, if you're a guy, if you brought in a makeup or removal kit, and imagine what her face actually looks like in real life. And it's not even that, right? These beauty filters, they have gotten so out of control. Like, my mom, she has a Douyin account or a TikTok account, right? So that's the Chinese version of TikTok. And once in a while, she posts one of these TikTok shorts, right? And so she has virtually no followers, obviously. She's 64 years old. But these filters are so outrageous, right? My mom is 64, and she's applying to all these filters on her faces. And so when she posts these, 15 seconds or 20 seconds or 30-second shorts on TikTok, it looks like she's an 18-year-old schoolgirl, and it's absolutely sickening. And it's just, I find it to be extremely appropriate for someone that's her age, even though she has virtually no followers. But these beauty filters, they have gotten 100% out of control. So imagine, right? So you think, like, that's your online girlfriend, that's your online crush. You think, you're dating like Li Bingbing or Fan Bingbing. You think you're with someone who's a 9 or 10. In reality, yeah, she could be well below average. I mean, she could be a 1 or 2. And it's not just the filters anymore. It's not just the makeup, right? So look at this, right? So you guys can clearly see, right? So this is a massive hospital. So this is a green colored hospital. This is a plastic surgery hospital. These giant massive hospitals that's specifically designed to give a young woman plastic surgery, right? Over 90% of their clients are, I would say, between the ages of 18 to 30. How ridiculous is that, right? These hospitals are pretty much in every single major Chinese city now. And due to the fact that, there's a rampant like beauty privilege in China, so a lot of these Chinese women, right, basically how they're getting the money to get these plastic surgeries done is that, they're basically annexing their boyfriend's bank account. I'm talking about, special military operation style, or, they're taking out credit cards, they're taking money from their parents' saving account, or they're taking out a line of credit. They're doing everything they can to take out these massive loans of money in order to get plastic surgery done on their face. And just imagine the severe consequences of all these medical procedures, right? I'll give you guys a great example, like Courtney Cox, right? So prime Courtney Cox, I would say, I think she probably peaked around the, season 7, season 8 of the popular sitcom Friends, when she was married to Chandler Bing, right? She used to be one of the most beautiful women on this planet, but, she got extremely insecure. She started putting all this weird stuff on her face, and she was getting all these weird medical procedures done. And look at Courtney Cox now. I understand, obviously, Jennifer Aniston, Lisa Kudrow, Courtney Cox, they're all over 50 now, but I would say, when you compare carrying these 3 female co-stars from the sitcom Friends. Like Courtney Cox has aged terribly. Like she looks absolutely horrible now, and I would give Courtney Cox in 2025 on the present day, I would give her a 2 out of 10. Just imagine what these Chinese girls they're doing to themselves. These 18, 20, 22, 24-year-olds. Imagine what they will look like by the time they're 40, 45, 50. All of them are going to look absolutely horrible. And this is why, so many men are afraid of commitment, right? This is why so many men, they don't want to enter any relationships or marriages. Imagine, okay, if I had all of this done, right? Me as a 5'8" Chinese guy, imagine if I actually spent 4 hours every single afternoon to put on makeup just to get ready for my nightly live stream, right? And let's say, I added all of these beauty filters on. Let's say on top of this, I actually, let's say, took out a loan of $100,000. I actually went to these hospitals. I got a bunch of medical procedures done. Maybe I got my nose fixed, I got my lips fixed. If you're wondering what are these women, what are these Chinese women doing to themselves, so what's the most popular plastic surgeries they get done? A lot of times, obviously, the most popular one is the double eyelid surgery. The vast majority of the Asians, they hate their single eyelid for some reason. I don't know why they're obsessed with the double eyelid. So typically that's like a beginner level one. A lot of these Chinese women, they typically will get a nose job. That's a very, very popular plastic surgery. Why do they get a nose job? They don't like the big nose, so they will try to basically shrink their nose to make their nose look smaller. And a lot of times, yes, they can get injections done in order to shrink their lips. So basically, the Chinese beauty standard is that they like women with double eyelids, with big eyes. They like small nose, and they like small lips. So, but coming back to the topic, so if I spent 4 hours every single night actually putting on makeup, if I actually got a loan of $100,000, if I went to the hospital, got a bunch of plastic surgery, and before I went on my live stream, I actually put on a beauty filter. And I mean, with all the modern day technology, all of these procedures, they can probably make me look like Superman. And I'm not talking about a Chinese Superman, I'm talking about the white dude, I'm talking about Henry Cavill. Like, that is 100% ridiculous. So everything, in life, everything we see in the 21st century, in 2025, everything has been a BS lie. Why are these women doing these to themselves? And the answer is very simple, right? Because a very, very small percentage of women, they can get insanely wealthy, they can get insanely successful from this, right? My cousin is just one of the examples, but she's just one girl from my family out of, I don't know how many female members of my family have tried this live streaming thing, probably 20, 30, 40, and my cousin's the only one that has really, really made any kind of money. She's the only one that has had any kind of a success. But this is also a massive problem. Like my cousin, I haven't seen her in so many years, right? I would say, growing up, she was probably mid. I imagine, the reason why she has been so successful at this streaming thing, and I'm looking at, the recent photos of her, there's a 95% chance she definitely got some sort of plastic surgery. Maybe not the full package, maybe not a complete makeover, but she has had some minor details done on her face. Here's the thing, right? She's 28 years old now, right? Her beauty at some point is going to run dry. What is she going to do after that? The money aside, right now she's currently in a relationship with a tall, skinny Chinese guy. By the way, the Chinese guy is also a millionaire. See, I'll come back to this topic for the future, right? Women keep talking about, the patriarchy, the pay gap. Women will only marry or procreate with men who are better than them. So that's why you have the patriarchy, right? No woman actually wants to marry or date a noob, right? Do you want to marry a guy who's 5'4" who works at Burger King's? So here's the thing, right? She's in a committed relationship, not a situationship with this tall, skinny Chinese guy. How do you guys think that guy feels when she's putting on 4 hours of makeup every single night, when she's going online in these chat rooms, doing these live streams with these horny, thirsty, lonely Chinese dudes, and she's saying that, hey guys, look, I'm so pretty, I'm going to play a song for you guys today, and if you guys like the song, please send me some flowers, please send me some gifts, and please tell more of your friends to join my chat room. How do you think he actually feels about that? Is this how desperate these Chinese men have gotten, right? If I was, put in this guy's shoes, right? This guy's a millionaire, I would never ever choose to date a woman. It doesn't matter what her ethnic background is, doesn't matter what her age or her religion is. If she's doing, these online live streaming sessions every single night, and that's a deal breaker. It's over from that point on. But yeah, imagine, just what kind of relationship she's entering with this guy. So basically, for 4 hours almost every single night, 5-6 days a week, right? She's spending 4 hours to put on makeup, and she's live streaming for 4 hours with these lonely, desperate Chinese simps. And this is 100% just completely dystopian. This is how far society has fallen in the 21st century. Yeah, I'm just telling you guys, man, online dating is absolutely terrible, especially when it comes to Asian women, because I've seen so many of these Chinese women, right? I've traveled to over 20 different Chinese cities in the past 4.5 months. Everywhere I go, right, on these main streets, especially at nighttime, I see these Chinese women who are turning on their cameras, who are doing these live streaming sessions. It could be at the town square, it could be at a park, it could be at any spot. And I'm just looking at these girls, I'm just thinking, oh my god, what the hell is all of that on your face? It's 100% ridiculous. Like, you can barely recognize them anymore. So yeah, I'm just giving you guys a very, very dire warning. There's a massive crisis with this online chat rooms and with these OnlyFans, with these women who are streaming on Twitch. Listen, look, if you're really that desperate, guys, you can watch Lana Rhoades, you can watch Tory Black, you can watch Mia Makova online for free. Why are you paying for these, fake Chinese girls who are spending 4 hours to put on makeups every single night? Like, what do you get out of this? Absolutely nothing, right? A lot of these women, if you take out the beauty filters, if you take out the plastic surgery, if you take out the makeups, a lot of these women are probably 3s and 4s. A lot of them are probably not even mid, right? If you're really desperate, I'm telling you, man, just go to the strip club, man. Just go to the red light district. Whatever you need to do, go to one of those Asian lady massage parlors. Stop being a simp, right? And the man keeps talking about, all the issues with modern day dating, with modern day marriage. They're talking about hoflation, how far women has fallen. Well, men have fallen just as far as women. Look at what these men are doing to themselves. I think, the problem is 50-50. Women have to take 50% of the blame, and the men also have to take 50% of the blame. So yeah, this video might have gotten a little bit depressing, and there's so much more to talk about. So I will definitely come back to this topic for future videos. I want to thank you guys so much for staying all the way until the end. I'll see you guys next time.